Tell your favorite businesses about us. And business owners, contact us today to create and implement strategies.
Hey, welcome in.
People to connect.
Wednesday edition, hump day edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. Glad to have you along. We're going to get started here as soon as we come out of commercial and as soon as the intro music plays. We got a lot to talk about today. We got a pretty good mix of local and national news. And we're going to introduce you in depth to Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Ooh, she's a firebrand. She's also crazy and a hateful person, which is sad because nobody should be consumed by the anger that appears to grip Jasmine Crockett. But I hear the band playing, so let's begin a Wednesday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show, shall we? Thanks for your time. Time's a precious gift, and I appreciate you giving me yours. It's a Wednesday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. Glad to have you along, and we will get to all the latest with Donald Trump and the finger wagging. The Democrats are having a big day on Capitol Hill. They've got the Trump National Intelligence Team on the run because of the own goal, inviting Jeffrey Goldberg of The Atlantic onto a highly sensitive call. I mean, it might not be, if you parse the semantic terms, top secret information, but I'm going to assume that Mike Walz, Tulsi Gabbard, Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, I would assume they don't want their text message chain about an attack on the Houthis to be observed for days by a member of the media who hates the Trump administration. So this is an own goal. Somebody copied Jeffrey Goldberg on it, and I wish the Trump administration would just say, look, it was obviously a mistake. Jeffrey Goldberg was on the call. We appreciate Mr. Goldberg not disclosing this at the time. It didn't do anything to compromise the success of the mission. It'll never happen again, and we move on. We've learned from it. We learned from our mistakes, unlike the Biden administration, which did not learn from any of the mistakes that it committed and just kept doubling down on. That would be my advice, but nobody's listened to me on strategic communications for the last 30 years. All the scandals in the athletic department at Ohio State experienced, my advice was always full disclosure on day one. You know why you do full disclosure on day one? Because then there's nothing left to be disclosed on day two. But when you don't do full disclosure on day one, then every little nuance that relates to what you hid on day one or what you announced in the big announcement of, yeah, we had a journalist on a text chain. If you just disclose it all on day one, there are no updates on day two, and the story becomes a 1, 2, or 3 day story. Instead, this will stretch on the longer the Trump administration just doesn't say, you got me, you got me. Democrats never say it. Let's learn from their mistakes. But we start today in greater detail with homage to Columbus's finest. Columbus police yesterday shot, but did not kill, 33-year-old Darnell Jones. He appears to be a very bad person, and that is an understatement of all time, because Darnell Jones was shot in Victorian Village, having matriculated there. Victorian Village, if you don't know, is just north of the Arena District. It's a nice neighborhood, really nice neighborhood. You pull off 670, and you're right there. It's near Goodale Park. It's a little bit south of Ohio State. It's not the kind of neighborhood where it's not like Linden, the Hilltop, Parsons Avenue, near East Side, South Side. It's not violent like that. But there was gunfire yesterday because police were shooting at and hitting multiple times 33-year-old Darnell Jones, who, again, I say is a very bad person, because when you kill your 13-year-old daughter, you are scum. And so Darnell was supposed to appear in court this morning around 9 a.m. He was shot multiple times, obviously. They didn't hit what they were actually shooting at, because cops are taught, and you should be taught, because I've been taught, you shoot center mass. 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. He got lucky. They shot him. They disarmed him. Yes, he had a firearm. Yes, he pulled it on the cops first. But Darnell Jones will live, which is very unfortunately more than we can say for his daughter, who he killed and abandoned in a home in Toledo. Now, not far from where Darnell Jones was shot yesterday, a lot of things were going on at the Ohio State University. What do I say about Democrats all the time? They never hold a victory party, right? They're always pushing for more. When you're always pushing for more, and you never hold a victory party, one of the ancillary attachments to that is you never acknowledge defeat. And Democrats, in the state of Ohio at least, have been thoroughly defeated because we have supermajorities of Republicans in the Ohio House and in the Ohio Senate. We have a Republican governor, attorney general, state auditor, secretary of state. It's lovely, isn't it? Well, it'd be lovelier if we had a conservative governor who actually didn't propose ways to spend our money that is not wise. Like, for instance, have you seen the latest from Mike DeWine? You seen the latest? He wants to pay for dental care for poor children in 9 counties in Ohio. I'm all for clean teeth and good oral hygiene, but it seems to me that unless you get control of an issue that has been talked about nationally here lately, which is should food stamps, I know, SNAP benefits, should food stamps be used, allowed to be used, to buy junk food and soda pop, cola, other sugary drinks? My belief would be no. You know that I have had my own rants about the quality or lack of in our food supply. And one of the things that I learned through my brain cancer experience of a year or so ago, just concluded treatment. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm going to live for a long time. Sorry, Democrats. Sorry, Andrew Ginther. I know you're sad to hear that. Is that our food supply has poisoned us for a long time. Seed oils, processed foods, a food pyramid that was an outright utter lie, but was meant to enrich food companies. And soft drink companies have profited and rotted the teeth of kids. So no, I don't want to pay for them to rot their teeth and for them then to be going to the dentist on my dime. I don't. That's Mike DeWine, our governor. But I digress. What are the Democrats pushing on now? Well, they were defeated roundly, soundly, on the establishment of the Salmon P. Chase Center at OSU. This is one of, was it 5, I believe, around the state of Ohio, created by Senate Bill 117, which established an academic center on 5 Ohio, not Ohio State campuses, but campuses of state universities in Ohio to teach and research historical ideas, traditions, and texts that have shaped the American constitutional order. We wouldn't want to teach authentic American historical founding to our kids because, you know, the people who are in charge of academia would like for that founding to go away. They'd like for the Constitution to go away. But we, thankfully, have a supermajority in the Ohio House and General Assembly, and they created these Salmon P. Chase centers where discussions can be had, where these topics can be discussed. And of course, Democrats don't want these topics to be discussed because, as I said, they would like to eradicate them. So yesterday, when Ted Carter, Colonel Ted, Top Gun Ted, president of Ohio State, held the first open public event at the Salmon P. Chase Center for Civics, Culture, and Society, there were protesters who showed up. Of course, there were. Now, when Ted Carter encountered the protesters, he handled it with the word of the day, aplomb and dignity and wisdom and discernment that he showed when the Hamasniks stormed the South Oval. He didn't call in OSU police right away with batons at the ready to smash kids in keffiyehs over the head. No, he said, all right, you can protest till 10 o'clock. Don't break anything. Don't break into any university buildings. Don't cause any violence, any vandalism, but you can protest till 10. And then, of course, give them an inch. They'll take an hour. They stuck around. 10:30, Top Gun finally had enough. He said, that's it. Go in, arrest them, move them off the South Oval. We can't have this. We can't have it. So last night, yesterday afternoon, rather, when the protesters showed up and interrupted the event, did Ted Carter lose his cool? No. When you've flown fighter jets into enemy territory, you tend to hold your water. And Ted Carter's comment on it was, I wore the uniform, meaning a military uniform, for 38 years. I was committed to the Constitution of the United States, and part of that was the First Amendment. So as much as it seems like a disruption, it's okay. That's part of what we do here. Ted Carter, fantastic choice for OSU president. When you compare him to his predecessors, Christina Johnson, who thought, I know what I'll do. I'll take on Les Wexner. I'll fight Les Wexner on control of the Wexner Medical Center. Is that a coincidence, Christina? It turns out it isn't. The billionaire who paid to have the Wexner Center of the Performing Arts, the Wexner Medical Center, other massive buildings, cultural endeavors around town, built and financed and flourishing, was not a good idea to take him on. Michael Drake before Christina Johnson, not good either. Who did we have before Michael Drake? Was that Karen Holbrook, the woman who had the brilliant idea of ending tailgating at Ohio Stadium? Ted Carter, an upgrade, a first-class upgrade over all of them. And yesterday he reacted with wisdom in a tough situation.
Clouds then sun this afternoon, a breezy day. Our high this afternoon, 53. Clear, cold night tonight, low 32. Clouds and breezy for tomorrow. A shower in the afternoon, high 53. A couple of brief showers around Friday morning. Otherwise, clouds and breaks of sun, a little bit milder. The high Friday at 70. Clouds breezy and mild on Saturday. The high Saturday afternoon, 70. Looking for a gusty thunderstorm on Sunday, the high 71. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Hi, this is Keith Davey with Citizens for Property Tax Reform. Citizens for Property Tax Reform is a local, nonpartisan grassroots group seeking property tax relief for senior citizens and property tax reform for all Ohio homeowners. Please join us this coming Saturday, March 29th, from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Scale House Banquet Barn located at 1900 Lutz Lane in beautiful Zanesville, Ohio. We will lay out our plan of action for 2025. Our guest speakers will be John Plechnick, Lake County Commissioner, and Heather Hill, candidate for Ohio Governor. For more information or to join our movement, go to our website, reformpropertytax.com. That's reformpropertytax.com. Again, please join us this coming Saturday, March 29th at 1 p.m. at the Scale House Banquet Barn, located at 1900 Lutz Lane in Zanesville. We need your help. There's power in numbers. Thank you and God bless.
Hear from one of America's most important public intellectuals on the Victor Davis Hanson Show.
Europe is saying to us, if you have a U.S. platform and you have an interview we don't like, we're going to fine you to the extent we can over in Europe. So they interfere with us all the time. And if they don't like X and they don't like Google and they don't like Apple phones, just make your own.
Subscribe to the Victor Davis Hanson Show today on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
Patriots, an event you don't want to miss. March 28th and 29th, Stay Awake America Tour, Delaware, Ohio. Experience the electrifying Christian rock band Casper McLeod, plus 21 powerhouse mega speakers. 2 days where music, health, and action collide to unite and engage America to stay awake. Limited seatings, don't delay. Get your tickets today. Text 786-520, 7876, 786-520, 7876. Be a part of the movement. Stay awake, America. It's time. America needs you.
Everybody's probably afraid of something, whether that fear is rational or irrational. I'm Bruce Hooley, here to tell you good news that if you were afraid that the MyPillow mega sale was going to go away before you could take advantage of it, well, MyPillow has extended the mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, you can save $40 on new spring MyPillow bed sheets in any size and any color. Save 30% on the brand new Mike crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one Mike has worn every day for over 20 years, and they do come in men's and women's styles, and they're made right here in the USA. You can get the 6-piece bath towel set for only $39.98. The initial qualities are low, so get them now before they go. And the best-selling standard MyPillow is just $17.98. Take advantage of the Mega Sale 2.0. Go to MyPillow.com and use my promo code Bruce. MyPillow.com, promo code Bruce. Don't forget, you get free shipping on orders of over $75 or more. So do it now. MyPillow.com, promo code Bruce. MyPillow.com, promo code Bruce.
There's a new optimism in the air, spreading across the country, and we think investors like you can have their best year ever. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about a family's company all the time right here on the station. Last year, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Everyday folks from all walks of life have enjoyed 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of small businesses right here at home. If you're a qualified investor and have a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest rates. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to firstlibertyga.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. That's firstlibertyga.com. firstlibertyga.com.
This participation in a First Liberty Note is not intended to constitute the sale of any investment security. It is not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. First Liberty has never defaulted on any notes where it was the borrower.
Okay, I got the update on the ticket sales for the April 25th, which is 1 month away, event. It's a Larry Elder event at Der Dutchman Restaurant in Plain City. We are not sold out, but we're getting close. In fact, we have more than 175 tickets sold. Now, the amount of people in the room is fluid, but we can't put twice that many in there. Can't come close to putting twice that many in there. So I'm, first of all, thankful, very grateful, very appreciative to those of you who bought tickets who want to be a part of this event. Myself, Jack Windsor, host of the Windsor Report, on stage with Larry Elder. Der Dutchman Buffet, part of your ticket price, assorted pies, desserts, bakery will be open so you can load up for the next morning. Please join us by getting your tickets now while you still can at 989theanswer.com. So they have the Trump intel team in front of Congress today, or in front of, I believe it was the House today. Yesterday it was the Senate. This was a regularly scheduled thing. Bad timing for Mike Walls, John Radcliffe, Tulsi Gabbard, and others. Mike Walls is, of course, the guy who inadvertently, I assume inadvertently, it's got to be inadvertent based upon the cut I'm about to play for you, included Jeffrey Goldberg of the Atlantic on a text chain. Vice President J.D. Vance was on it. Marco Rubio was on it. Tulsi Gabbard was on it. It might not be top secret information. It's very sensitive information. It's not for public consumption. It's not for journalistic consumption. But Jeffrey Goldberg was included on the text chain, and he didn't say anything about it until after the attack on the Houthis occurred over the weekend, and then he wrote a story about it, and he'll probably write more about it today. And that's why you have to be careful if you're part of the Trump administration and not telling any lies, because this is an own goal and you look bad enough, and you look better if you just admitted your mistake. Mike Walls last night on with Laura Ingraham. How did Jeffrey Goldberg get on the text chain? Walls claims he has no idea.
I just talked to Elon on the way here. We've got the best technical minds looking at how this happened, but I can tell you for 100%, I don't know this guy. I know him by his horrible reputation, and he really is the bottom scum of journalists. And I know him in the sense that he hates the president, but I don't text him. He wasn't on my phone, and we're going to figure out how this happens.
So you don't know what staffer is responsible for this right now?
Well, look, a staffer wasn't responsible, and look, I take full responsibility. I built the group. My job is to make sure everything's coordinated.
But how did the number? I mean, I don't mean to be pedantic here, but how did the number?
Have you ever had somebody's contact that shows their name, and then you have somebody else's number there?
Oh, I never make those mistakes.
Right? You got somebody else's number on someone else's contact. So of course I didn't see this loser in the group. It looked like someone else. Now whether he did it deliberately or it happened in some other technical mean is something we're trying to figure out.
All right, Mike Walls did one good thing there and one dumb thing there. At least it's dumb to me. Maybe I'm a rarity. I don't have anybody's number in my phone. Okay, you can say that you know of. Under the wrong name. That's what he's claiming. All right, Goldberg's number, but it's under John Kennedy, senator from Louisiana. I mean, what? Is that a common thing? I have an audience of one that I can see right now. Jeff, has that ever happened to you? You go to call somebody and somebody, no, Jeff says no. Okay, so that's stupid, all right? Now, the one good thing he did was say, it's my fault. Not going to put it on a staffer. It's my fault. Okay, that's good. The scenario he paints, it happens to everybody all the time. No, I don't think so. And also, look, Jeffrey Goldberg can be a dirtbag. He can hate Donald Trump. He can be a lib. He can be a leftist. He's allowed to be all that, by the way. It's the beauty of living in America. It's not his fault you put him on the text group. Own it. Own it. Just less is more. There's a reason why that's a cliche, because it's true, because it's said all the time. I don't know how he got on the text chain. I would have preferred he not be on the text chain. It is a mystery to me. I'll do everything I can to prevent that from happening in the future. Okay, so that's all you need to say. All you need to say. Now, back to the education front at Ohio State. The students, I find curious the way this is written, the student protest of the Salmon P. Chase Center at Ohio State yesterday. They knew where Ted Carter, the president of the university, was going to be. He was going to be holding his first public event in this center that is mandated by Ohio law on the Ohio State campus, which, you know, we can't be teaching civics and the foundation of America's original documents like the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and the Federalist Papers and all that. We can't be teaching that at Ohio State. We got to be teaching gender studies and philosophy of queer spirit animals. That's what we got to be teaching there. Believe me, they're doing that. But I find it curious how it's written on the WSYX website. OSU students lifted their voices. See? They're minority students, lift their voices. What are you thinking of? You're thinking of the quote-unquote black national anthem, which is not the black national anthem. Lift every voice and sing. We have one national anthem. But they're trying to create, see, these are poor, minority students. OSU students lifted their voices and shared some serious concerns on Tuesday. Who says they're serious concerns? I don't think they're serious concerns. I think they're stupid concerns. I think they're irrelevant concerns, inane concerns even. Why are they serious? Because, of course, Channel 6 shares the opinion that the students have, and so therefore they are serious. You could write it this way. You could say OSU students express their displeasure with this, and this policy. And that would be, how I was taught to do journalism back when I was at Ohio State, but apparently they don't do it anymore. A large group spoke out on everything. Wait, how large? How large? I just mentioned, was a student at Ohio State. I've been down on campus just there a week ago. It's a pretty big place. A lot of people around there. I think we're over 60,000 student undergraduate enrollment. We got thousands and thousands of faculty members and staff members. I'm curious to know how large the large group was. Was it 100 people? Was it 50 people? Was it 5,000 people? What constitutes a large group of students at Ohio State? How large is the venue? Is the Salmon P. Chase Center like another Ohio Stadium? Does it hold 80? Does it hold 90,000 people? It wasn't a large group of people. It wasn't. Many of those students. How many did you quote? Oh, one. The assumptions you're making are rich. Many of those students, the frustration runs deep. Do you have a frustration meter? Did you stick it down their throat like a thermometer? It's all woke written nonsense. I know y'all know how to read. Wait, I sound like Jasmine Crockett. I know you all know how to read. But you have to, when you're reading local coverage, whether it's any of the television websites, the Dispatch, the Ohio Capital Journal, any place, you almost have to read it word by word, stop yourself, and say, is that really true? In this case, very little of what is in the first two paragraphs is true, is proven, is supported by factual evidence in the rest of the story. They hope that speaking up will help spark what they call needed change. Okay, that's about as good as you can do right there, what they call needed change.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The Atlantic has released the entire signal chat among Trump's senior national security officials. It includes more details than many people believed were part of that text and chat. And the officials involved said that no serious details had been released, but it turns out that there were times mentioned for some of those attacks, and it did not cause any problems as the attack was successful against the Houthi rebels. Palestinians held a rare anti-Hamas protest. This one took place in Gaza, protesting against the terrorist group that controls that region with an iron fist and has led to this deadly war with Israel. The Dollar Tree is selling off the Family Dollar chain to a pair of private equity firms. The transaction worth about $1 billion. New orders for manufactured durable goods up in February. That was a second straight monthly increase. This is SRN News.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free, no-risk consultation. 800-292-7875. 800-292-7875. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-292-7875.
Today's America is full of bloviating pundits who speak with emotion. That's why you need to listen to The Larry Elder Show. Larry is a lawyer, writer, and media personality who speaks truth with facts. The Larry Elder Show, weekday evenings from 8 to 11 on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
You heard me talk about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too with their 3-week quick start kit for only $19.95, less than $1 a day. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF, 800-4-RELIEF for Relief Factor.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed. Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
This is Josh Pick with the Aptus Blueprint Radio Show. The thing that I hear most often in meetings is, what do I do when it seems like stocks and bonds are getting crushed? Rates at the bank are abysmal, and inflation is at 40-year highs. Well, you're not alone, and there are better options. Did you know that you can lock in darn near double-digit returns in a positive market while simultaneously accepting zero downside risk? Learn more about ideas like this and many other ways to improve your financial situation by listening to the Aptus Retirement Blueprint Radio Show Friday evenings at 6, Saturday afternoons at noon, or call our office today at 614-917-1040.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer. Anywhere you go with The Answer's mobile app at 98.9theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, tune in, or iHeart.
Are you in pain? If you aren't, you're about to be when I share details of what Jasmine Crockett said yesterday. But the pain I'm talking about is joint pain. If you have arthritis pain, if you've been told you're bone on bone, and you hurt when you get up out of a chair, when the thought of the grass growing and you having to go out and mow it, or heaven forbid, work in your landscape beds, reminds you of how much it hurt last year, well, I'm here to tell you that QC Kinetics may be able to help you get out of pain. No surgery, no downtime, and no being tethered to conventional medicines that have their side effects. QC Kinetics with clinics all over Columbus. They're growing, thriving because they're helping people thrive and get out of pain. How do they do it? By withdrawing your blood, separating the healing agents in your blood, those agents that heal your finger when it gets cut or your ankle when it gets sprained. Those can help in your joints too, but you need a little help. Your body needs more of those, and that's where they come from the procedures at QC Kinetics. Check out your free no-obligation consultation by calling 380-208-4544, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. So yesterday afternoon, as I finished this show, we end at 1, headed into a meeting. And just before I went in, flashing across my social media, was an appearance by Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, the biggest racist in Congress. As I've said many times, that's not a low bar, because you've got anti-Semites like Ilhan Omar, Pramila Jayapal, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and others. But Jasmine Crockett's the biggest racist in Congress. Now that, Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman are voted out of office, and she kind of wins by default. But Jasmine Crockett was at an event sponsored by the Human Rights Campaign. Now you might say, oh, the Human Rights Campaign, that sounds like a really great organization. No, the Human Rights Campaign is a way to disguise its allegiance and utter servitude to the LGBTQIA plus section of society. Okay, so this is not an organization that cares anything about human rights, which is why they cheered and laughed and yucked it up when Jasmine Crockett said this about Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
We in these hot-ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot-ass mess, honey. So yes.
Ah, yes. So this, of course, infuriated a lot of people who know that Greg Abbott is in a wheelchair. And the reason Greg Abbott is in a wheelchair and has been in a wheelchair for 40 years is because he was out jogging when he was 26 years old. And in a freak and very unfortunate accident, a tree fell on him, and he has been paralyzed and unable to walk ever since then. And she's making fun of him as Governor Hot Wheels. And she has used this joke before in a similar vein. Everybody calls him Hot Wheels. She tweeted something about the despicable and incompetent, and he's despicable and incompetent because you haven't heard from him since he lost to Ted Cruz in a Senate election, 6 years ago, Beto O'Rourke, or when he ran supposedly for president. Beto O'Rourke, she said, was, rolling here, rolling there in her social media. And then she said, I wonder where Greg Abbott's rolling to. Aha, winky, winky. See, no, I just meant where he's going to, right? She always has some kind of thin, implausible explanation to stiff arm you from criticizing her for saying she hopes Elon Musk gets taken down on her birthday, or other assorted things she said that would most assuredly get you canceled if you said them and you didn't have the twin shields impenetrable like Captain America of being black and a woman. Okay, so she plays those cards, and you hear it in her made-up phony accent. Made-up phony accent, Bruce. How do you know it's a made-up phony accent? Because here are clips of Jasmine Crockett doing her Kamala Harris, Barack Obama. What is this with Democrats? This is, in fact, a racist, dismissive, condescending tactic that they engage in. I'm not going to say they all engage in it, but a lot of their top politicians engage in it, gratuitously adopting a persona that is not authentic when they are trying to reach a certain audience. You heard Kamala do it. I'm going to win, child, I eat no for breakfast. Yeah, right, sure. And you've heard Obama do it too. Get real sing-songy, preacher-ish at times, but then he's a bookworm and, what did Joe Biden say? Most articulate, eloquent black man ever. I mean, this is their act. So here's Jasmine Crockett being Jasmine Crockett, and then also being the Jasmine Crockett who attended a $35,000 a year day school in St. Louis as an undergraduate student, attended Rhodes College for her undergrad at Memphis. at $55,000 a year and who obtained her law degree from the University of Houston. It's not that she can't speak the King's English. It's that she, at certain times, chooses not to do so.
My mind, I'm thinking, I just got to Austin and I had to meet 5 people to get here. I don't know about this. So y'all don't know what white privilege looks like, but I'm gonna show you a little bit of something.
I'm gonna show you.
The congressional seat is over 4 times as large as my house seat. I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at, calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do. And I was just starting to get into the rhythm of doing constituent services. They send them to Texas, they send them to Florida. Every deplorable state that we can think about, they usually coming out of y'all's think tank. There's someone that talked to me and said, in fact, a former ambassador and the Clinton administration.
Geez, back when she was running for Congress, she sounded like she occasionally wants to be branded as a really smart, really articulate, really eloquent person of reason and logic. And then, wait a minute, is that a camera that I see? Is the red light on? Oh, well, I'm gonna tell you how it was. Come on. What a phony baloney. Now, she's not the only one, right? I said Obama's done it. Kamala Harris has done it. Joy Reid did it. Didn't work out so well for Joy Reid. Didn't work out so well for another race baiter, Tiffany Cross. Tiffany Cross and Joy Reid both used to have shows on MSNBC, and the most delicious word in that previous sentence is used to have shows. But Tiffany Cross, because she's able to play the most popular card in the Democratic deck, the victim card, she now has a guest gig on CNN. And she was spouting her nonsense last night about America and how unfair America has been to her.
I find it really troubling because they ran on this whole idea of this pseudo-patriotism, this regressive masculine patriotism, yet everything they're doing runs against making America great. Well, it was never great, so I'm not going to say the again part. But
never great.
You're trying to defend the indefensible. Yeah, I absolutely feel that way. I absolutely feel that way. And I think if you had the history that my people had in this country, that you might have a modicum of understanding and respect for that. America was never great for me.
America was never great for me. Really? You ended up with a show on MSNBC that ran for a couple of years. You probably were paid over $1 million a year, but America was never great for you. It wasn't. This, of course, is page 1 of the Democratic Playbook. Walter Kern, author, guest yesterday with Matt Taibbi on the Megyn Kelly show, first talking about Jasmine Crockett and others who play this feigned persona and who use invectives as their weapon in battles they can't win intellectually.
If she'd spoken in English, I would have understood her better. So I almost didn't catch the insult. One thing the Democrats specialize in is accents, okay? They adapt them to the audience, and sometimes they go really far out there, and she's at the bleeding edge of street talk, okay? Yes. There's going to be a point at which I don't understand at all, and they're speaking in code to their own supporters. And frankly, that's where they're getting. Every time they try to micro-target and bend over backwards for some specialty audience with what are otherwise supposed to be national figures. You say she's a rising star, but she can't rise that far because a lot of people here in Montana can't decode her speech. It is condescending. It is thespian. It's pure acting what they're doing. They're trying to be edgy. They're trying to get headlines and clicks for these otherwise, ridiculous insults.
More clouds today. Afternoon, a breezy day. Our high this afternoon, 53. Clear, cold night tonight, low 34. And clouds and breezy for tomorrow. A shower in the afternoon, high 58. A couple of brief showers around Friday morning. Otherwise, some clouds and breaks of sun. A little bit milder. The high Friday at 70. Clouds breezy and mild on Saturday. High 70.
Okay, thank you.
A thunderstorm on Sunday, the high 71. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
I'm Mike Gallagher here, hoping you'll join me on the Patriots Alaska cruise this summer, a once-in-a-lifetime trip where patriotism and luxury meet. Picture this, you cruising through Alaska's stunning wilderness on a first-class luxury ship surrounded by breathtaking glaciers and majestic mountains. Joining us will be Larry Elder, Jennifer Horn, Joe Piscopo, but that's just the beginning. We sail August 16th through the 23rd through the last frontier. On board, you'll enjoy thought-provoking talks, exclusive events, and unforgettable memories with fellow patriots who share your conservative values. Text the keyword travel to 94878 to reserve your stateroom today. Text travel to 94878. This is more than just a cruise. It's a chance to engage with some of the most respected voices in conservative America. I'll take a little credit for that. I hope I'm in that category, and explore one of the most beautiful places on planet Earth. Space is limited. Text travel to 94878. That's travel to 94878. I'll see you on board, where patriotism, adventure, and luxury all come together.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance. And you better watch out, because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We can tell you about the incredible success we bring to local businesses, but it's better when it comes directly from our satisfied clients. Here's just one example.
After searching for a new vendor to handle my search marketing campaign, I contacted Salem Surround after seeing the great work they did for another restoration company in the different market. Their team of experts recommended a mix of multiple tactics designed to get my business the most quality leads at the lowest cost, making my marketing budget stretch further. In our first year partnering with Salem Surround, we recorded our best year to date, and I've told many people how blessed I was to find them. The representative answered the phone every time I called, and they addressed any questions or concerns I had.
Let Salem Surround give you an absolutely free audit of your current marketing and show you what your competition is doing. Then, we come up with a personalized plan that's perfect for your needs. Google Salem Surround Columbus and let our marketing experts help you achieve real success. Remember to Google Salem Surround Columbus today.
She's gone from reporting on the sidelines to making sense of the headlines. It's the Michelle Tafoya podcast.
The media is trying to lampoon this group. Yes, they are. They're calling them a bunch of 19-year-olds in hoodies. People go to war as soon as they're 18. You're okay with that. But a 19-year-old genius trying to help the Treasury save money? Oh, God forbid.
Subscribe to the Michelle Tafoya podcast today on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
Mega sale continues at mypillow.com. That's good news for you, because if you were afraid you've missed out on the opportunity to get spring MyPillow bed sheets in any size or any color at a $40 savings, well, you haven't missed out, because they've continued the sale. 30% off the new My Crosses. It's the latest product from Mike Lindell. You can go to the website, mypillow.com, plug in my promo code Bruce. You'll get the discount. If you don't know what the crosses look like, they're very easily recognized on the site, but better yet, just watch Mike Lindell do a commercial. He wears his cross boldly and proudly out front in every single spot and every single interview that he ever does. The 6-piece bath towel sets are amazing. 6-piece bath towel sets. That's 6 bath towels, not washcloths or hand towels, bath towels for $39.98. And the best-selling MyPillow in the standard size is $17.98. King and queen under $20 when you use my promo code Bruce at mypillow.com. Well, I must have got to somebody yesterday with my impassioned rant and scolding of Columbus City Council member Nick Bankston. You remember I was reflecting on Mr. Bankston saying that people are glad to pay the service fees on tickets that translate into a pot of money that is within a couple $100,000 of $25 million total, which they then lavish upon the artists of our city to paint 81 murals and to give away to artists. They spent $750,000 last year out of this fund that is made up of a 5% like fee on tickets, a 5% hotel motel tax, tickets you buy to sporting events, you go see the Blue Jackets play, that money makes its way back to Nationwide Arena. But if you go to a concert or a performance or a play or anything like that, they're going to take a piece of your ticket money and they're going to pop it into this fund. And they're not only going to go out and they're going to pay artists, 1,500 artists, $750,000. So they're giving a $500 stipend to 1,500 artists in the community. Would you like a $500 stipend? I would like a $500 stipend. I wonder what the bar is on being classified as an artist. I mean, there are those who would say that, you know, sitting in front of a microphone for 2 hours a day, speaking extemporaneously without a script, holding an audience's attention could be described as art. Do I qualify? I'm afraid I don't. It's because I'm not embracing, as the arts people say they will continue to, diversity, equity, and inclusion. I am ineligible. I'm pretty sure. They also go out and solicit people to give $500 to. The head of the Arts Council, whose name is, I think it's Jeffrey Katzenberg, says, Katzenmeyer, I'm sorry, my apologies. He said last year the Greater Columbus Arts Commission hired 26 multilingual navigators to reach out to artists throughout the city and help them apply for funding. So you get the picture here? You're an artist, you don't speak English, you're not aware that there is a pot of money downtown that they're giving away because you're an artist, you can't earn enough money on your own to support yourself, so they're more than happy to help you. And they're going to go hire somebody. I would like to know what the 26 navigators are paid. Does that come out of this fund or does that come out of another fund? Meanwhile, we have kids stealing cars in Linden, and we have 10,000 car thefts in Columbus a year, and we have kids killing themselves. But, you know, if we're fortunate, maybe they'll crash a car in front of one of the 81 beautiful murals that this money paid for. This is just utter nonsense to me, and I'm shocked. No, I'm not. Well, I am a little bit. And my boss tells me the podcast numbers for the show are up, and maybe I inspired you to reach out and go, what is this nonsense? You mean I could pay a lower ticket price than I'm paying, but you just charge me the money and you're going to subsidize these people who have chosen to, I'm not going to say waste their life, because great for you. If you want to sit around and draw, paint, do whatever, that's fine. It has value. I'm not saying it doesn't have any value in a community. I'm saying I don't want to pay for it. If I want to pay for it, I will, guess what? Donate to it. But I don't donate to it because I donate to my church and I donate to missionary causes around the world. That's a choice that I make. And I'm not going to tell you how you should make your choices, but you shouldn't be able to fleece me out of an extra $1 or $2 if I want to go see a movie in town or if I want to go see a play in town. So I find it interesting that they're writing about it, because I thought they had put a bow on it yesterday. But clearly they got some kind of pushback from it. And if I led the pushback, good. I'm happy to lead it. Now, our conservative majority in the Ohio House has done great work, passed the SAFE Act, even though we have a stupid district judge who's put a halt to it. We are 2 weeks out from the prohibition against woke nonsense, sexually inappropriate books being allowed in libraries. Well, not being allowed in libraries, but we are 2 weeks away from one conservative item, the Parents' Bill of Rights, which would keep teachers keeping secret from you, a parent, if your child expresses gender dysphoria at school. Already, before the law is in effect. Two good guys in the Ohio General Assembly are working on adding amendments to the law. This guy's a superstar. This Josh Williams from Sylvania, I got to get him on the show. He's one of the legislators pushing for this. He wants to add to it, instead of an opt-out, an opt-in for books that expose kids to inappropriate sexual topics. LGBTQ plus storylines in books in elementary school libraries. Right now, you as a parent have to opt out. You say, well, I work. I don't know. I don't have time to go down to the elementary school in Clintonville or Powell or Hilliard and look at the books. I don't have time to go. And they're sort of not going to call me and tell me, hey, we got a book in here called Gender Queer, or we got a book in here called Uncle Bobby's Wedding, about a young girl struggling with her uncle's same-sex marriage. So, of course, you don't know that. And they are counting on the fact that you don't know that. And that's how they slide it into your kid's head and confuse your kid and hopefully, in their eyes, indoctrinate your kid. So these two Republicans are trying to get parents to have to opt in instead of opt out. That's the way it should be. But this case is before the Supreme Court right now. And I want you to hear the ruling of the 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, the woke judge Stephen Agee, who overruled parents trying to get the opt-in instead of the opt-out. He said, he acknowledged, the books could be used in ways that would confuse and mislead children, and the discussions relating to the contents of the books could be used to indoctrinate children into espousing views that are contrary to a parent's religious faith. But he said, none of that is verified by the limited record that is before us. So the judge threw out the parents' rights to opt in instead of opt out, even though he admitted, yeah, I don't dispute kids. Sure, they could be confused by this. They could be misled by this. They could be indoctrinated by this. They could have their minds bent away from the direction that the parents want them to go. But me as a judge, I'm standing here saying, well, even though they could be confused and misled, it's not quite bad enough for me to rule in the favor of the parents. That'll do it for this edition of the Bruce Hooley Show, Hour 1. Glad to have you along today, and I hope you guys will join tomorrow. I will be back with a Thursday edition. We'll have Matt Merritt, 12:05. Look forward to talking to you then.
But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8